Welcome to Keto on the Couch, episode 169.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you are new here, say hi down below.
Now here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday we go live on Keto on the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. That way, every single time we don't have the extra minute for the butt scooch, you'll be alerted to it. Because, yeah, you got to just
go ahead and talk while I make sure this is
lined up
right.
a little bit. Good morning, everybody. I see Kat's here this morning. Hello, how are you doing? Danita is here. Hi, Carrie. What day is it of no caffeine, sir? I'm excited to find out. Sharon is here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dennis.
Okay, so it looks like that's all working.
You all good? You back?
We are all back.
And we're back.
Welcome to Keto on the Couch. If you're new here, Keto on the Couch is all about our subscribers. It started out with talking about what was going on with our lives, but then quickly evolved into celebrating wins and victories and answering questions and comments. And
I think that's,
so that's
much
what we
more,
like to do.
Much more important, I think.
And we're in the final stretch. This is our last week working for the
dun.
church.
Yes.
Carrie said it's day 129.
Way to go, Idaho.
So, so the way we like to do this is we do it live, as we've said before, but maybe you're new here. We used to pre-record this, but it takes about 8 hours.
And if you're new here, we'll still mess up.
Yeah.
So this isn't like out of the ordinary. We mess up all the time.
So what we're going to do is feel free to chat amongst yourself. We don't pay attention too much to the chat while we're going through actual Keto on the Couch. And in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we try to adjust the chat. So if you have a question, you can wait to the end. Or what you can do is use that little function down below. What is it called again? I forgot.
Super chat.
Thank you. Super chat function.
It's Monday.
That's the little dollar sign that you're going to see in the chat window, and that will highlight our screen when you use that.
Always makes me think of my mom. She loves that movie Blast from the Past. And it's Sissy SpaceX Kara says, write that down. So if you have a question, write that down.
And and if you really like this, you can always use that thanks button down below. And you can also join ours as a channel member, which is that join button. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and show that to you.
The join.
And you will see this button right here is the join button. And if you use that, that will make you a channel member. Also, I wanted to pull this up really quickly because people ask us, how do you get to the community channel? And when you go to youtube.com/twocrazyketos, right here is our community channel. And that's where we can put up posts and we announce winners and things like that. So yeah. I don't understand why one of those isn't working, but that's okay.
It's all right.
We will get to that later.
We're going to keep going.
Let's jump right into Keto on the Couch. We're going to start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This was an inspirational post that we found over on our Facebook support group, which there's a link for that down below.
Hot Dr. Pepper. Chris has seen that movie.
Okay, we're going to start off with the first one, which is...
Hi, Sheila.
From Sheila. And Sheila said, I try. Some days I'm more successful than others. And she put up this meme and said, choose joy. Don't wait for things to get easier, simpler, better. Life will always be complicated. Learn to be happy right now. Otherwise, you're going to run out of time.
What a great perspective. Thank you, Sheila. What a good reminder. Yesterday when we were in church, our pastor said something. I feel like we're bringing this into every Monday, but
it's part of our lives.
It's just part of our lives. So one of the things that he was talking about, because we were talking about financial stuff, and he was saying, what do you want more for? Because everybody wants more, right? You want more toys, you want more money. Definitely when it comes to keto, you want more results, right? I want more weight loss. I want more body composition. I want more. I want this plateau gone and I want more. What are you doing with where you're at right now. What do you want more for? Do you want more weight loss, but right now that you've lost 20 pounds, your life looks no different at all? You just want to be a lighter cushion on the couch? Because that was me for a very long time, right? It was like, that's great. I wanted more, but I wasn't doing anything with what I had right then.
Right.
So if you want more, it's like being generous. You're not going to be generous when you have a certain amount of money. You're going to be generous with what you have, and at every single interval in your life, as like, you know, maybe money increases, you're able to give more, but the generosity is in you right now. And it's the same thing. Like, we want more out of life, but what are we doing right now? There's something that we can be doing right now to enjoy our life and not wait until we, you know, hit a goal size or weight.
Yeah. Now we're going to have our subscriber of the week, and the first one is from Lori. Lori said, "Thank you for your service to us and this keto community. I have no doubt that your ministry will expand as you follow his leading. If there are any specific prayer requests, please don't hesitate to reach out, as it is one thing I can tangibly do."
That's
I shared
awesome.
a bit of my story with Rachel last week, but I have been keto for 5 years. On June 11th, I lost 160 pounds and then I gained 65 back over the last 2 years while dealing with a critical health crisis for my husband. We almost lost him, and the Lord has sustained me. He is permanently disabled, and I am his wife first and caregiver second. My adrenals are shot, and in November, I'm assuming he was diagnosed with stress-induced cardiomyopathy, the early stages of heart failure. I've lost 15 in the last couple of months, and just like Rachel gained eating low calories, that contributed. I am working on healing again from inside out. Keto has saved our lives hands down, and I'm thankful for your passion, your wisdom, and your realness. The community can be very cliquey, and it has turned me off, but your community is the opposite.
Way to go,
Thanks
to Crazy
for all
Ketos
you
family.
do. I'm here to help and support any way I can. She sent up a couple of pictures.
Lori, I love it so much. Look at that beautiful couple and the smile on your face. It says it all. I love your beautiful face, and I love seeing that face smiling. That is so precious. Thank you for contributing to the keto community with your precious self and being available to others to be a blessing, because that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
Right?
The next one we have is from Mary Beth.
Hey, Mary Beth.
She said, "After fighting weight my whole life, I finally have the worry with keto carnivore. The victory with keto carnivore."
Good.
I forgot my glasses. But the health benefits I am enjoying, I'm just going to text Anthony. I am enjoying far surpassed weight control. My benefits of keto carnivore: head to toe, no more dandruff or dry scalp, less gray hair, thicker hair, more curls and body, no more sinus infections or allergies, no more fever, blisters, or too much sun or sickness. I do have a tiny one, but once it healed, quickly no redness after. No more mouth ulcers, no more acne or other skin issues, no more arthritis, no bloating or gas or constipation or smelly bath.
That is very true.
No body odor or discharge. I don't sunburn, no lotion, no more irritability or bad moods, endless energy, constant focus, able to stop drinking alcohol regularly, delivered from snacking and constantly dieting. My sugar addiction, clothes always fit, weight is normal, doesn't go up and down. I feel good all day, every day. This is me, and I'm 64, a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 6 so far. I'm so thankful to God for leading me to this.
Wow, hot mama and grandmama. Way to go. Look at you. But here's the thing. Weren't you excited and celebrating with her even before you saw that amazing picture? So that picture is amazing. You look incredible. No one's gonna believe that you're a grandmother of 6 so far. But the thing was, it was all of the other stuff. It was the no dandruff, and it was the no acne. And it's like what you're able to do, that was like victory, victory, victory. And I think that there's definitely a lot of us who could be celebrating that more. Right. You know, what are some of the health concerns that we just don't have to deal with anymore? And they're little to big. It was funny. I got some sea lice when we went camping, and that was annoying. And I think it was more annoying, thank the Lord it's over now, but I think it was most annoying to me because I haven't had skin issues in a really long time.
Right.
I don't have eczema. anymore. I'm not constantly scratching and being aggravated with skin issues. So when I do have a skin issue, I feel it. I'm like super annoyed by it because normally we live very well, thank the Lord.
People ask all the time, well, how do I afford to do keto? I can't afford more meat. As you do keto, you start spending less money on things. And as you're saying that, and with one of her comments, I'll tell you someplace where we probably save $100 a month.
What?
You no longer have to buy that stuff for the cold sores on your mouth. I
used to have terrible.
2 or 3 a month.
At least. And that stuff is not cheap, and it comes in a thing that's like this big, right?
You went through 3 or 4 tubes a month.
So I had lots of mouth ulcers. I had lots of outbreaks of herpes simplex or whatever, cold sores in your nose and things. I just don't have those breakouts anymore. So yeah, take a walk through Walgreens or CVS and just add up, because I'd love to see people's totals. Talk about victory. I would love to see not even your pharmaceutical medication, but what are the over-the-counter monthly grocery bills that you're not paying anymore because you're keto and you don't have those issues.
Have you looked at the price of deodorant lately?
I can get by with the really cheap shampoo.
Right.
Like I don't have to buy the Head and Shoulders anymore.
Next one we have is from
somebody.
Carissa.
I'll read this one. I started my journey after my mom took picture number 1 at my son's birthday party. I was tired all the time and blamed it on motherhood instead of the actual problem. I was putting myself last. When I saw this picture, I knew I needed to change something. I started keto November 1st, 2020. Very dirty, lazy keto. I saw huge changes on the scale. I also started a mature CrossFit. My son started having some major anxiety with school, and September 2021, I stopped working out to focus on him. The scale stopped moving. I was frustrated. Oop, you gotta bring it back for me.
Oh, sorry.
My husband, who is a nurse, strongly suggested a plant-based diet. So January 1st, I switched to that. Long story short, I gained weight and lost energy. So February 15th, I totally committed to strict Ketovore and have seen huge non-scale victories and some on-scale victory. My husband is even starting to change his view on what a healthy diet is. Wow, Carissa, thank you. Wow! Look at that beautiful family. That is so precious. I just have to say though, first of all, is it hard for us to do keto some days? Yes, it is. Is it as hard doing keto with 2 small children? No, it is not. So I think that is a check yourself, Rachel, before you wreck yourself reminder that when I get in kind of a pity party, and I can get into those, I'm really good at creating invitations for that pity party of one. I need to remember there are other people doing this with even other higher levels of obstacle.
Speaking of children.
Yes.
So, do us a favor. If you have children, grandchildren, or if you've ever had grandchildren or children.
Okay.
Or maybe you just like them yourself.
All right.
And you fed them chicken nuggets. Or again, if you've ever liked chicken nuggets, I want you to exit out of the chat, go down below and hit the like button on this video.
Okay.
Because later on, actually I think it's tomorrow.
Right.
We have a video coming out on how to make carnivore chicken nuggets.
Channel members get it first.
Channel members and patrons are going to get it later this afternoon once you preview it.
Yes.
And let us know that everything is good and I didn't screw up editing.
Don't you screw up editing.
And it's funny because as I was making that video, I was like, shouldn't all chicken nuggets be carnivore? They're chicken. But we went to the store, and not to tell you too much in this, but a bag of X brand of chicken nuggets.
The decent ones. The ones that you'd be like.
Publix.
The fancy packaged ones.
A serving size is 4, and there's 19 carbohydrates
total
in 4 chicken nuggets.
Ain't nobody eating 4 chicken nuggets.
And we're going to give you a recipe where you can eat the entire batch. And I'm talking about 18, like a pound of chicken nuggets. And it's less than 6 carbs.
Yeah.
So that video is coming out tomorrow. So make sure you hit the bell button so that you're notified when that video comes out. People ask us, like, what does the bell button do? Number one, you get notifications on your phone, but you will also, if you go into your app and on YouTube itself, you will actually get an email saying, hey, this video has come up. That's why you want to make sure you hit the bell button so that you're notified for all these videos. But we are really, really proud of that, and I'm excited for that one coming out.
We've been enjoying them.
Also, you're getting a twofer today because as soon as I'm finished editing it later on today, we're going to release our video on how to make your own suntan lotion that doesn't have all of those chemicals. It's super easy to make. I mean, Rachel made it.
Yes.
It is super easy to make.
And it feels wonderful. You're going to want to wear it all the time.
Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with the YouTube comments.
Welcome back and happy Monday.
Yeah.
We're in June.
Kat said, I can eat at least 10 nuggets.
Thank you so much. Kelly, I think is the name you're trying to read. Just stop trying to read today, probably, unless you're going to go.
I did ask Anthony to get my glasses, but he's not getting them.
Do you know where they are?
They're in the other room.
They're not this?
No,
this is
that's
not.
an empty case.
This is an empty case. This is totally useless.
So let's get into the YouTube comments, and the first one is from Michelle.
Baker.
It said, so, is Joe blunt, or is Joe a straight talker with no fluff?
Okay.
When it comes to my health, I need a Joe in my life. There is a difference between someone who is blunt and somebody who is irritated and someone who is factual with no fluff.
Thanks for that.
You, Michelle. See? I'm not that bad.
Yes, I do think that sometimes you need that, like, straight talk. Like Dolly Parton says it best, right? Straight talk, straight talk. Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way. I love that movie. But yes, you do need straight talk. And I think that you can be a little bit more diplomatic in how you present the straight talk.
Possibly.
However,
there's always room for improvement.
However, sometimes somebody can be too nice to me to the point where they never hold me accountable. That is not being nice. Never holding someone accountable is not the most loving thing that you could do. I do believe that if you want someone to get better, you do need to hold them accountable. So I'll give you that.
We got some of that yesterday from Pastor.
Yeah, we did.
Next one's from Brittany.
Hey, Brittany, which do you think is more likely to cause a stall? Having 1 to 2 tablespoons of G. Hughes barbecue or sour cream? I do carnivore, eating only meat, eggs, and butter, but maybe 3 days out of the week, I want one of those options to dip my meat in. I have been stalled for quite a while.
Okay. Here's the bluntness.
Uh-oh.
Let's take this label. I hate labels.
Okay.
If you've not figured that out, I hate labels. Okay. Nisha Berry says it best. We're not carnivore, we're not ketovore, we're not dirty keto. We're Rachel Keto, we're Joe Keto, we're Brittany Keto, or whatever you want to call it. If you want to 3 days out of the week dip your stuff in sauce, which is completely fine.
Dip your stuff in sauce.
You're not carnivore, but that's okay.
Yes, it is.
You're more of, if you want to have a label, you're more of ketovore. That's okay. Okay. I think just like we talk about, like, we don't like the term dirty keto because you're labeling yourself. We don't like the term I'm having a cheat meal because you're calling yourself a cheater. If you label yourself a carnivore, and then when you do this, first of all, you're going to get some idiot on one of the social media things telling you,
oh Lord, here we go,
like, hey, you don't know what you're doing and you're horrible and get out of here, and I don't want you to do that. But I don't want you to label yourself, because when you say I'm a carnivore, but then I'm having 3 days a week, you're telling yourself I'm failing at carnivore. So with that being said, if you were going to take one of the two off, if you want to stay carnivore, if you really want to stay carnivore, I tell you keep the sour cream, because sour cream is carnivore. Except for sometimes they have a thickener, but I'm okay with that. G. Hughes, it's not bad, but like we picked up a sauce the other day, and I didn't realize that they do put like cornstarch and stuff in there, which again, a touch isn't going to hurt you. But there's also sweeteners and things like that.
There was some bad oil and
no, that was the honey mustard.
The honey mustard.
Yeah, the honey mustard. Don't use the G. Hughes honey mustard.
I was surprised.
And there was the buffalo sauce as well.
Yeah.
It had the number one ingredient was like canola oil. So I would eliminate the G. Hughes over the sour cream. But if you're in a stall, I would honestly try going a couple of weeks without them and seeing how you do, and then maybe try one and see. Maybe try the G. Hughes, do that for a week or two and see what happens. And if you stall out again, hey, it's probably the G. Hughes.
Well, I would also, if you're talking about 2 tablespoons of something 2 times a week or 3 days a week, I would definitely go back and look at those macros. Let's look at your 1-to-1 and see what your energy is, and what are your needs for energy. So, you could always message us at either Joe or Rachel at twocrazyketos.com for that kind of stuff, so we can just kind of take more of a look at it, because it's usually not just like a tablespoon of sour cream is making all of the difference. Right. And
again, I mean, it's just, I have no problem with sucralose. I know some people do, but some people have reactions to it. Some people get migraines from it. And so it's something you might want to take a look at. Next one's from Synergy.
Hey, Synergy. It doesn't take long to realize that there are no healthy recipes that exactly duplicate the unhealthy ones we used to enjoy. I had a hard time giving up unhealthy mayo and dressings too. I did not have luck making my own and finally settled on some from Primal Kitchen. They don't taste like the old unhealthy versions, but I got used to them. I save my unhealthy indulgences for eating out when I don't really have healthy options. I love that so much. And I gotta say this, I was thinking the other day, sometimes, we're in such a blessed position. I am thankful that I no longer am questioning what is the right thing to eat. We've made that decision. We understand now. We see the benefits of it, right? Of living a keto life. But do we live thankful? If I say I live thankful, but I spend a disproportionate amount of time and energy complaining about what I don't get, I don't know that I could say that I'm really thankful that I've come to this place in our journey. I really am thankful. I'm thankful for my keto friends and family. I'm thankful that we are well. And I want to spend a lot more energy thinking about that than quagmired in just like this, gosh, I don't get to eat what I used to eat. Right. So I love that thought that it's like sometimes we just have to move past that and find what's like good enough, close enough to what we used to have, and be thankful that we don't have the feelings we used to have or the weight that we used to have.
Yeah. Future Breeze said, good morning, peeps. Still recovering from my car breakdown last week. I'm bloated, barely in ketosis, up a couple of pounds, likely all water weight. Back to motivation. Well, here at Too Crazy. You're doing it right. Just get back on the wagon. Don't try to fast and punish yourself. Right. It'll go away. Don't worry about it. It's probably water weight if you had a big carb binge. It just takes a couple of days for things to go back, but you're better off in the long run if you just allow yourself to naturally get back into ketosis.
I always have in the back part of my mind now, with that Atomic Habits book that we've been reading just 5 years later, it's all about consistency, right? And we're like, what did consistency used to look like to me? It used to be like, if I've got 5 days in a row doing the right thing, that's as consistent as it gets. Right. But that's not what is true. We know that it's consistency over large amounts of time. So it's just get back into it and be consistent. You can do it.
Next one is from Marie.
Hey, Marie.
She said, replacing standard American diet foods is difficult. Fortunately, taste buds will change in time with the proper human diet. Lily's chocolate is the closest to Hershey in my opinion. I feel for the person with a cupcake coworker. That was from last week. One of my coworkers said, you can do any diet except keto because people go into ketosis and die. Wow. I try to explain ketoacidosis and he said it's the same thing. Thanks for sharing and having a wonderful week.
I'm so glad we have each other.
Listen, no, it's not the same thing. You know that, but listen, some people, they just don't want to hear it. They want any excuse. We talked about it last week. We talked about it on our live stream. We've had people in our personal lives ask us, hey, I really, 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 really need your help. Can you help me? And we tell them what to do. Like, I can't do that. Then you're not ready. Yeah. Right? You're just not ready. And you're going to come up with every excuse. You can't eat that much sodium. Meat's going to kill you. You have to have vegetables. What's wrong with fruit? If you get to that low point, you will do anything. And here is somebody who's just misinformed and they just don't want to hear it. And you're not going to be able to talk them out of it. And the best thing to do is move on.
Stay keto and live.
That's right.
I feel like that's the best testimony that we can offer is like, we're keto and we are still alive. So that disproves the whole start keto and die.
Yeah. Next one's from Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. I tell people this all the time. Stop looking for replacements for things that won't exist. Do the best we can. We can get used to 90% and make that the normal. Then one day, maybe months or years, you will prefer our 90% over the 100% because now the 90% is the 100%, and that is your preference now. If you compare Coke to Diet Coke, I have been drinking diet soda going 30 years. I prefer it over regular soda now. I just can't drink the sweetness. It is horrible. You're so right. I mean, I know that there was a time, like even from being a child, you know, going into adulthood and making that switch, because when you were a kid, we weren't, you know, drinking a ton of diet soda, but you would drink regular Coke. And then at some point you made a switch over to Diet Coke because you wanted to, like, I don't know, add sugar in other places, right? Instead, and try to get away with more. And so you made that switch, and then diet soda became normal to you. Right? I mean, there are so many things that we started out eating that it was like, gosh, this is not my favorite thing. But over time, it's become delicious to us. I can remember when eating like a fat pocket of meat, like what we now call meat candy, we would eat that and I'd be like, ew, that's gross.
Well, look at egg in your coffee. You were so against that. Now you never want a coffee without egg.
It's interesting. So we have to let there be consistency and time to change. If we're constantly like dipping in and out, it's of course going to make it last longer that we have a hard time with the transition.
It's one of the reasons why when somebody asks me like getting started with keto, I tell them, listen, for at least the first 2 to 4 weeks, do not look for any replacement. Try to, especially if you're looking for sweet replacement, like candy and stuff like that. Are there some keto-friendly options out there in chocolate and stuff like that? Yes. Sure. But if you jump right into keto and start using that on day one, number one, it's not the same thing and you're going to be disappointed and possibly go back to the standard American diet. But number two, you're not dealing with your sweet tooth and your addiction. So it's better if you go cold turkey for at least 2 to 4 weeks and probably a little bit longer. Kind of get the taste of all that sugar out. Yeah. And then maybe later on have it as a little treat. I have not had sugar knowingly in 5 years. And I say knowingly because, you know, listen, sometimes you're going to go to a restaurant, there may be a touch of sugar. But but I've never had a candy bar or a soda or anything like that where I've gone and gotten it. So because of that, like I know we were somewhere, I don't remember where it was. Oh, we had gone out to dinner for the staff dinner. Okay. And dessert came. And we, of course, were not eating the dessert. It was some kind of flourless chocolate cake, probably made with a lot of sugar. And somebody at the table started having the whipped cream that came with it. And she's like, this has got no sweetener. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, let me take, because I know
I'll be sensitive to it.
I will be super sensitive because I have not had sweetened with sugar whipped cream in 5 years. I know that I will be able to tell you. And sure enough, it wasn't. And then the waitress confirmed that, oh no, because chocolate cake is so decadent and rich, we give you a completely unsweetened whipped cream because that cuts down the acidity. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then we of course ate whipped cream because there was no sugar in it. Right. So if you get away from that for a little while, then you will get used to the taste of the keto options of it.
If you told me years ago that I would ever like embrace dark chocolate, I'd be like, you crazy. Right. I ain't never eaten that.
Sharon put this up. She said, I had to go out for a new driver's license morning. My birthday's on Wednesday and they took the most awful picture. I only put this up so that you can sing happy birthday.
Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sharon. Happy birthday to you and many more.
I did see another one. Tanya said, quick question.
Hi, Tanya.
When making yogurt for the first time, do you need anything aside from milk and heavy cream? You don't even need the heavy cream, okay? The heavy cream is to have... and one of these days we're going to redo that video.
Bye, Chris Bear.
One of the reasons that we did heavy whipping cream in that was to make it a fattier yogurt. And Dr. Zivas talks about, you know, actually adding, like he gives his son milk and then adds more cream to it to make it even fattier. But when we made that video, there was a yogurt out there called Peak Yogurt, which was delicious. We actually tried it at KetoCon 3 years ago. And we loved it. And it was like a double fat yogurt. It was so good. And I didn't like yogurt at the time. And so we decided we wanted to duplicate it because you couldn't get peak yogurt in most of the country. And so the whole idea of that was duplicating peak yogurt. But you don't need to, if you don't want it really, really fatty, you don't have to add heavy whipping cream. The only other thing you need is a starter culture. The easiest way to get starter culture in both that and in the low-fat version that you see on our website, the easiest way is just go buy some good Greek yogurt that doesn't have any sugar in it. That's going to be the easiest way. You can go online and you can buy cultures, but they're very, very expensive, which is why I have not yet done a dairy-free option, because it's very expensive. I don't mind spending the money to show you how to do it, but I don't want to tell somebody, hey, you got to go spend $25 on cultures, which is only going to give you 2 batches.
Right.
So I'm still working on that.
Somebody was asking about creamer for the coffee, looking for a sweetened option.
Add sweetener.
You can add sweetener to milk.
Not milk.
No, I'm sorry.
Don't use milk.
Cream, heavy cream. That is what milk is in my brain right now. Right. I mean, that's how it is now. You don't. But if you're looking for something that's just like store-bought, ready to go, we use the Keto super creamer, super coffee.
Some people like nut pods.
Some people like nut pods. I don't think that it's sweet enough. If you're transitioning from like cremora, then to something you probably, I find nut pods a little lackluster. Also, if you've got a blender and you could use like a protein powder that you like, we use the Perfect Keto MCT powder, mix that in because it has a flavor and a sweetness to it, and it will lighten up your coffee.
So we use Perfect Keto MCT oil powder, we use, Keto Chow. Those are what our creamers are. And then we don't really use heavy cream, but we use egg and butter and then add sweetener to it. Those are our go-to. We don't use collagen because Rachel, for some reason, doesn't like the collagen in her coffee. She likes
it's Jackie's birthday too.
Okay.
Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jackie. Happy birthday to you and many more. I'm actually wearing the shirt Jackie sent me. Feed me brisket and tell me I'm pretty.
I did see, I'm not going to pull it up here. Shar asked, does chest cold mucus increase glucose levels? And have you tried the Boo Keto Protein Bar? We've tried some of the Boo products. Some of them are good. I have not tried their protein bar. Chest cold mucus increasing glucose levels. Having a cold itself can increase your glucose.
Yeah.
It's your body. That's what your body does. It needs to increase things to get you healthy again. So that's a normal thing. Next one is from Franny.
Hey Franny, non-scale victory came as a huge surprise when I woke up Saturday morning with many of my face wrinkles gone and a big portion of my turkey waddle neck also gone. Autophagy must have worked overtime. Still in shock. That's awesome. That is so good. And it does take time.
Right.
We have seen a lot of things change. Even like some of my stretch marks lightening over time. Right? And I mean, I still have loose skin. Anybody that tells you that it's just going to magically disappear, I don't believe that. At least I have not found that to be true. Like, that's why I can wave at you twice. I can wave at you here and I can wave at you here. But that's okay, because at least it's not full of fat anymore.
Right. Okay, so I know I'm going to get yelled at, but I'm going to put this up anyway because you've got 3 of them coming out this week. So let's address it right now because we have a lot of new subscribers. Love says, I love when Joe says, so easy Rachel can make it. Nothing like throwing your wife under the bus. It's not.
So I want to make sure.
Let's address this because we get a lot of
Joe gets so much.
I get called a male chauvinistic pig.
You should see the different national organizations that he has been reported on to. Yeah. This was something that I came up with. It is not like a, I guess we just didn't think about it a lot, but it is not that it's like I'm a victimized woman. It's not a man or woman thing. It is a Rachel thing. I mean, there's a lot of times.
For the record, I was against this.
Right. Well, I mean, like, so, not everybody is a good cook. And I don't subscribe to the fact that, like, just because I'm a woman means that I should be a good cook. I am just not a good cook. In this marriage, he is just a better cook than I am. So it's just as a human being, just as a Rachel, it's so easy. Rachel can do it. So I am being a really terrible cook. If I can do the recipe, that's when we knew it was easy enough to share, because there's a lot of things that Joe could do because he has like some technical advancement. He's taken like cooking classes and stuff, and he has like some, finesse in his cooking skills. I do not have those cooking skills. So we would make recipes and he would have a beautiful recipe and I'd be like, that's too hard for me to do. So like it won't be able to easily be replicated. So we need to make sure that it's so easy even Rachel can do it. Right?
I mean, it's like I can't cook like Anthony. Anthony is an amazing chef. I mean,
he's really good.
I'm just not like that. And so that was my question when people, and I don't respond this way, but my question when people say like, I'm a male chauvinistic pig and you can't believe that I would title a segment called So Easy Rachel Can Make It, would you be okay with it if it said So Easy Joe Can Make It?
Right, and I think that because, like, is it okay to be mean to you? If you think that the title of it is mean, then shouldn't it be mean either way?
Right. But again, it was our funny way of saying this is an easy recipe.
Yeah.
It was Rachel's idea.
So there's
totally 3 of them coming out. So if you are going to message us when these videos come out and say, I hate that title, please don't message us.
Don't bother.
Because all I'm going to do is delete it. And if you're going to put it in the comments section, I'm probably going to delete it.
Right.
And if I don't delete it, and we don't delete a lot of comments. If I don't delete it, you will probably get beat up by a lot of subscribers. So I'm just letting you know. And again, we have to talk about it all the time, but
sometimes every now and then.
That segment is never going away.
Yeah.
Rachel, like,
it has
she
to
always,
be that easy.
You'll see even in some of the videos where I forget to say it in the beginning, and she makes me add it later.
Right.
So, next one is from Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn, Mac, I love that. We are often not anything like the image in our own heads of how we look. I was at a bargain store yesterday and there was another lady in the section. I was going through items and grabbing large in everything. As we conversed, she said, "Are you shopping for someone else?" I said, "No, for myself." Then she says, "Honey, I've been in fashion for years and you don't need no large in all this." There was one t-shirt dress I was getting for swimsuit cover up, so I insisted on keeping the large in that. She exchanged every other item for a size down and said, "Prove me wrong and go try them." Damn if it didn't all fit perfectly. I came home happy and with a bag full of summer items. That is awesome. That is awesome. I almost think it is a benefit to like shop with a friend, because we don't see ourselves, I don't think, correctly. I love getting to shop. It's very once in a while, but sometimes my mom and Becky and I will all go to like a thrift store and then like try on things and look at one another, and what we're hard on ourselves about, the other person may say like, "No, I can totally see you, wearing this." It also helps us to stretch our style and be willing to try new things, because I dressed like I was 100 years old when I was 25 years old, because I was very heavy, and it was like I did not want any part of clothing to actually show what my silhouette was. So I really need help kind of getting out of that thought process. So bringing along somebody else that says, no, that's good. It helps.
I remember when you did with your mom, because your mom was always like, even after she lost all her weight, she was still wearing like 3 and 4X shirts.
Yeah.
And you went over to her house and you like literally clean closet and you're like, put a large on. She's like, that's not going to fit me.
And then it does.
And it did. And she's like,
that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. I saw this comment. Denise said, "I take salmon oil daily. Is it really necessary? I don't eat much seafood." It depends on who you ask. We do not do fish oils. I think you're better off eating the oil. Ben Azadi is really against eating oils. He says you need to eat the whole fish. It just really depends on who you're talking to. If you're looking to have the benefit of having equal omega-6 to omega-3 or getting closer to that ratio, adding the omega-3 isn't as helpful as getting rid of some of the omega-6.
Right, there you go.
One of the best ways to get rid of the omega-6 is to eliminate seed oils. That will really, really help your ratios of omega-3 to omega-6. Okay, next one is from Denise.
Hey, Denise.
She said, "I'm full of questions this week. How long after you started BBB did you notice results?"
I would say 12 days. right about 12 days. The first week is just like,
now, not on the scale, because we weren't getting on the scale.
Oh, no, we weren't getting on the scale. But as far as like movement in my clothing, I feel like the first week you're just nothing but nervous. You're having a really hard time thinking to yourself, this is going to do anything, especially if you were all in like we were, where we were truly eating as much as we could eat in a sitting, because we were so used to like, you know, being so detailed over the macros that I thought, man, if we just open this floodgate and eat like Dr. Berry is saying that we should, I don't believe that we're gonna have good results. In fact, I think that everybody watching us is gonna watch us get heavy and sick. Like that is exactly what I thought. And I was like, good Lord, we're out here. But I trusted Dr. Berry and I trusted the process. And by day 12, I would say, somewhere around there, I started to be like, well, what do you know?
Right.
These pants fit different, because I will say that the body recomposition for me took place in my stomach area, and for Joe too, and like back fat area. Right. So, which is exactly what you want a lot of times, right?
And I would say, as far as just like getting in touch with satiety and all of that, I'd say we started noticing a difference within 3 or 4 days. But any kind of challenge like that to yourself, I'm going to tell you, always give yourself at least 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to notice a difference in a week. It really takes 2 weeks to a month to know, like, hey, how is my body reacting to this change?
Yeah.
Next one is from Steven.
Hey, Steven, I tried keto once before and stuck with it for about 3 weeks until I got bored and wanted to make new things. The new things is what killed it. Because I'm always in a rush, I'd end up needing to eat by 6 p.m. and end up finishing the new recipes by 9. And by that time, I was starving. So I'm on day 4 now of a new keto plan that's much easier for me. I'm doing keto chow shakes for breakfast and lunch. So now planning 1 meal a day is so much less stress. I don't want to fail this time, so I'm trying to solve obstacles before they come up. I've got a wife and we like to eat out a good amount, 2 to 3 times a week. I've found a list of places in my area that someone posted of keto options, but honestly, I'm afraid with all the conflicts of opinions that I'm going to stall out. For instance, Wingstop. I could get some wings with Parmesan cheese and blue cheese dip. However, what oil do they cook them in and what ingredients are in the blue cheese? I don't want to just eat no carbs. I want to not consume things that will knock me out of ketosis and stall my hard work. Am I overthinking this, or should I really plan not to eat out? Like one time I was ordering an omelet and I asked if they could kick it in butter and no oils just to make sure.
Okay, now not to confuse you more, you're overthinking it, but you're not overthinking it.
That is not helpful at all.
Here's Joe being blunt, right?
Okay.
If you're going out to eat that many times a week, I would say yes. Think about it, because you're opening yourself up. The more you allow somebody else to prepare your food, whether it's going out to eat or buying a packaged food, the more you're inviting in a variable that you don't know about.
Right.
Okay. So, for example, we love Texas de Brazil and Texas Roadhouse, or any Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah.
But every time I go out to eat, I can order the cleanest thing that's on the menu, but I honestly have no idea of how clean it is. For example, we always get a prime rib at Texas Roadhouse. That's what we get. There is sugar in the seasonings that they cook it in.
Yeah.
So it's a tiny amount, but it's there. So I'm opening myself up to variables and unknowns. So the more you go out, the more you need to scrutinize it. If you're going out for an omelet, I would absolutely always say, hey, I need you to cook this in butter. I do not use oil. It's not that the bad oils are going to knock you out of ketosis. It's not that you can't lose weight. You can absolutely lose weight eating seed oils. I did for a year. Okay?
And
I
Diet
dropped
Coke.
100 pounds eating seed oils.
Yep.
However, it's not optimal for your health and your diet overall. And when I say diet, I'm not talking about losing weight. I'm talking about your lifestyle, your eating diet. It's just not optimal. My personal opinion is nobody should be eating seed oils. I cleaned out our pantry yesterday and our boys had seed oils in there. They want to cook in vegetable oil and they want to cook in mayonnaise. Well, if you put it in my pantry and I clean, Guess
Boop.
where it's going?
Trash.
It's not even, listen, they have a box of pasta and stuff in there. I will leave that for them. But I do not want my children eating seed oils. So I throw it out. If I could go into another family member's, except for I don't have anybody around here locally that does eat seed oils, I would go into my family members and throw out any seed oils in their house because I don't want them eating it, because my opinion is nobody should be eating them regardless of what your eating lifestyle is. So the more you go out, the more I would scrutinize things. I don't believe Wingstop uses a good oil to cook in. But after that, just get as clean as possible. I don't want you to
stress yourself out
and start going, oh, I can't ever go out to eat, because you're going to end up quitting.
Well, and also I was thinking, if you're willing to eat out 3 times a week, that can get expensive. Even doing wings is like expensive. Like we can't get Buffalo Wild Wings every single week because it's very, it's expensive. So my recommendation too would be, on the times that like you might want to go out during the week, go ahead and buy something expensive, like an expensive cut of meat that you could cook quickly. Like, we really enjoy like the nice salmon. It's not something that like we purchase all the time because it's expensive, but actually having, some nice seafood in the house, it cooks quick.
Right.
It cooks very quickly. And if I have a budget of 2 to 3 times a week eaten out, I can kind of put that budget into some nice meat, cuts of meat and things and seafood, and be able to eat at home, eat quickly and have really nice ingredients.
Yeah. Rhonda wants to know, can you use egg in iced coffee as well? I haven't tried it. We can try that.
Yeah, we'll try it.
We'll try that.
We'll try it for you. See how it comes out.
I don't know why you couldn't, because it's the blending that makes the difference.
And Anthony makes like the cold brew, where he makes it. You just put the grounds in the water, and yeah.
Next one is from Jan.
Hi, Jan.
She said, does anyone else have a problem feeling full and staying satiated by eating a meal of bacon and eggs, even when eating the same amount of macros that you normally do? I realize we are all different. I was wondering how many other people, if any, might experience this. So when you say saying satisfied, are you talking about from meal to meal, or just at the end of the meal? If you're not satisfied at the end of eating your bacon and eggs, eat more bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime you sit down to eat, there should be, I love Dr. Saiva says, snacking is an emotional event. If you sit down and say, I'm going to have a little snack, I'm going to have an egg and bacon. Oh, that's keto. I'm going to have there's no such thing as a snack. You're having a meal. So have a meal.
Yeah.
Whenever you sit down to eat until you are full.
Especially if you're eating bacon and eggs.
Right. So if you eat 5 eggs, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay? And don't worry about PUFAs and eggs. There's a difference between PUFAs and eggs, and PUFAs that come from polyunsaturated fats, by the way. PUFAs that come from eggs and PUFAs that come from seed oils. There's a huge, huge difference. Eat more eggs. Eat some more bacon. Remember this, protein will fill you up in the moment. Fat will help you get to the next meal. That's why having it at a 1-to-1 will really help you. Protein fills you up now. Fat gets you to the next meal. Okay, think about Chinese food where the carbohydrates would go away quickly.
Yeah.
If you just eat a whole bunch of protein but no fat, you will probably be hungry a little bit later. Also, you'll probably hit what I call like a protein coma or a meat coma, and you're gonna wanna go to sleep because it takes a lot of energy for your body to digest that protein. So that's why you wanna have it balanced out.
And we're always checking that volume because of like, what does full mean? Am I not gonna be satisfied at being full until I have to go lay down? Like, I still need to be able to do my work and have a day. Yeah. If I have to lay down, I mean, you guys saw us when we were on vacation and I was sitting there and I said, this is a meat baby. Like, I literally have a meat baby just like sitting in the middle of my stomach. Well, that's not like the normal optimum feeling that I want to have all the time, right? Because it was like
that's a 1 meal a day.
That was a 1 meal, but it was like, you don't want to have to like, okay, I need to eat my breakfast and then be able to have to lay down.
And that's something we talk heavily about in our Energy Keto program, which you can get on our website. And it's a 30-day program that will really help you to get more energy and be more satiated on keto. It involves an app. We've allowed our Patreons to try it out. Most of them are just finishing it up right now. And we go over what your diet should be like, exercise, sleep, and also stress management. And as a matter of fact, we've got a new, not workout, but exercise regimen starting on Wednesday. You're going to see it on Wednesday's vlog, but we'll talk about it. One more before we get back into the thing. Wilma, thank you for being a channel member. She said, have you ever tried Too Good Yogurt, 2 grams of carbs? Have you done a review on it?
Yeah.
If not, would you consider it? Thanks. I really appreciate all you do. We have done a review on Too Good Yogurt. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. If I remember right, it's been a while. It had a very thickener kind of taste and texture to it, so Rachel didn't like it. And again, they add a lot of stuff to it.
Right.
And to me, yogurt's easy to make. And I jokingly said it on the vlog the other day. If you don't have an Instant Pot that has a yogurt setting, but you have an Instant Pot that doesn't have a yogurt and it doesn't have a yogurt setting, donate it, sell it, and go get one. It is worth the $50 to have an Instant Pot or any pressure cooker that has a yogurt setting. You will never want to buy store-bought yogurt except for if you're maybe on the road in a pinch if you make your own. And it's 2 ingredients and it takes 8 hours for it to make, but it takes literally less than 30 seconds to actually prepare it.
Right, it's a very quick recipe.
It's an 8-hour waiting period, but it's 30 seconds for you to actually do any work.
Then you can portion it out and add whatever flavoring that you want.
And if you want flavors and things like that, you can add fresh fruit. Or like I know like Miriam and Chris and a lot of other people, they added things like Jordan skinny syrup and stuff. If you're okay with Too Good Yogurt, which I believe uses sucralose anyway, there's lots of syrup options out there to flavor your own yogurt.
Right.
You'll spend a lot less money.
They're all weirdly at TJ Maxx and Ross.
You'll spend a lot less money and you're going to know exactly what's in there. So that's just something to think about. Next one is from Gloria.
Hey Gloria, we learned that seed oils are bad. Is the sunflower oil ingredient in Keto Chow shakes the same thing or not? Hope not.
Okay, so seed oils. On the list of seed oils, I would say sunflower oil is more on the bottom. It's still not something you want to consume a lot of. If you are consuming, you want to kind of look for high oleic sunflower oil, which is made differently than regular sunflower oil. It's also higher in omega-3s, and that's why you'll hear a lot of times when we do reviews, I'll be like, oh great, it's got high oleic. There's a huge difference. It's still not something you want to have like a lot of. I wouldn't be frying my foods in sunflower oil, but it's a little bit better, and it's lower on the list than canola oil and vegetable oil and things like that. As far as Keto Chow, okay, Chris, I think, has a post on it. I know he left, but I'll give you the short version. Keto Chow, because we've made flavors, it's a protein, and then they add vitamins and nutrients to it and electrolytes, which is what makes it different than other meal replacement drinks and protein powders and stuff. And then there's a flavoring. So they have a flavoring manufacturer that makes natural flavors. And when you see an ingredient, when you see something that lists natural flavors, there's a lot hidden in that word, natural flavors. A lot of things that they don't have to tell you what it is. And 99% of places don't tell you what it is. If you go to one of those Coca-Cola machines that gives you like 55 different types of soda, when you click on, say, for example, Diet Coke, it'll say, and if you look on the bottom, it says in small print, 0 calories, but then it says contains natural flavors which may contain calories or carbohydrates, because they can hide a lot in there. So legally, with Keto Chow, Chris and Miriam want to be so upfront about things. They actually list some of the ingredients in the natural flavors. Right. The sunflower oil is part of the natural flavors, but it's actually not in the natural flavor. It is the company uses sunflower oil or canola oil to lubricate the machine that sprays it.
Right, because it has to move through the machine.
So there most likely is not any sunflower oil or in there at all. However, to again be upfront and honest, there is a possibility that a drop may be in there. It's like when you see the thing made in a facility that is also doing nuts. Right. Okay. There's a possibility of cross-contamination, but it's not anything to worry about. But I do believe that they are actually in also the process of having the company change it out at their expense to use MCT oil so that they can take that off of there.
Nobody else but them would list it.
Right.
Let's be honest.
It's not something to worry about. It's just like red mineral salt. Red mineral salt, when they go and mine for human consumption salt, they use a lubrication on the mining equipment that is edible. It's like, so is there a pot? Why? It's probably not in your salt, but there's a possibility that a drop can spray out and get on your salt.
And they want to make sure.
And they want to make sure that you can eat that.
Would never make you sick. Pretty cool.
Next one is from Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Hi, everyone. Could someone explain to me the difference between Ketovore and carnivore? It would be so helpful. Thank you.
Okay, carnivore, you're going to get a lot of explanations. And again, I hate labels. Carnivore is meat only, or meat and meat based only.
Derived. So, and that goes, like, there's a huge gambit for that.
Like heavy cream is carnivore.
But for
cheese is carnivore.
But some people would not even use Redmond garlic salt.
Right.
Because garlic.
Technically, spices are not carnivore.
Is not from an animal. So they would not even use that. So you can, you start out and you're like, hey, I'm pretty carnivore because I mostly eat meat. Sometimes eat vegetables is usually when the Ketovore comes in. Like things that are, I'm mostly eating meat, but I also have other things in my diet that is not derived from an animal.
Right. So Ketovore is eating, my definition of you're eating 95% meat. Maybe a little bit of veggies here and there, but you're eating mostly meat. For example, like our carnivore mug bread that we released last week in the vlog.
Oh, it was good.
Okay? And we've got some variations of that coming out too. I say it's carnivore. You will get a carnivore person tell you, no, it's not because there's baking powder in there.
There you go.
Okay, so carnivore is really, really, it's a term that people take personally and make it really, really straight. Kim, thank you very much for becoming a channel member.
Welcome, Kim.
Artie posted the next one, said, just curious about one thing that Dr. Berry doesn't cover with carnivore once you hit your goal weight. He looks great and he remains at the weight he is and doesn't lose any more and follows the carnivore way of eating always. Now I know I have stayed at my goal weight for 4 years now as I am able to track my keto way of eating at macros appropriate to maintain. But if it's just meat and eggs, how do you stay at a plus or minus 5 pounds for the rest of your life if you choose that way of eating? Do you eat less or do you eat more and eggs? Do you continue with the same amount of meat and eggs that your physical self stops from losing weight after a certain point? Not that I ever swayed from keto, as I've tried carnivore for 2 weeks and I hated it, as I need veggies, dairy, and keto baking to make it sustainable for me year after year, but curious as there seems to be many carnivore folks here. Okay, first of all, I want to say I'm really proud of you for saying that for recognizing that carnivore was not sustainable for you. People ask us, why are you carnivore? It's not sustainable for me. And most importantly is Bahia Honda's got an opening tomorrow. Do you want to go? It's on the water.
Act right.
You got to do what's sustainable for you. When we were in Utah, somebody asked Dr. Berry, what is the best thing for me? And he's like, the one that's sustainable.
Yeah.
If you can sustain yourself on only ever eating meat the rest of your life, that's what's for you.
Right.
If you can't, and eating a few veggies is what's going to make it sustainable, then that's what's for you. A couple things in here. Dr. Berry eats 99% meat. But he does eat some veggies.
Yeah.
And he says that. He's growing an asparagus farm.
Yeah, that's not for nothing.
So, but what he says is your diet should be mostly, if you can do carnivore, do it. It is the optimal diet, okay? But it's okay if you want to have some veggies, okay? And there were some people in the comments, I think I turned off the comments on it because it was getting a little mean. But he doesn't say you can't have vegetables. He says your main food should be meat.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't want to put a lot of words in his mouth, but I know that he does eat some veggies on occasion. Okay. As far as maintaining your weight, that comes down to eat 2 or 3 meals or 1 meal a day until you are satiated and full. And your body will enter homeostasis. Your body wants to be in homeostasis. It wants to use the energy that you eat and burn that and keep it that way. If you, for a long term, and it could be as little as a month, undereat the amount of fuel that your body requires, you will enter a stall. So what do you do when you enter a stall? You either lower more, okay, which you don't want to do because you can't keep going low, or you reverse your way back up so that you're eating higher. And when you do that over a slower period of time, your metabolism will speed back up because it wants to maintain homeostasis. So when you're carnivore, how do you maintain your weight? You continue to eat until you're comfortably full, and your body will enter into a homeostasis where it will try to balance it out. If you overeat too much, that's where you get things like the jitters, or you get somebody like Rachel who will dance around when she's on the phone and pace back and forth because your body tries to get rid of the energy.
Well, one thing I just wanted to say really quickly was, number one, when someone labels themselves as something, can we not create that, like, that it's a blood oath?
Right.
Can we, if someone says, hey, I'm carnivore, and they're thinking in their mind, what carnivore is to them is I eat mostly meat. And if somebody sees a vegetable on their plate, no, you're not carnivore, you're actually ketovore. Please.
Right.
Like, calm down. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Right.
Right? I mean, because we won't want to get crazy about it. And also, again, I go back to what we said earlier, which is, what do you want more change for? What do you want to do? If you would like to, I want to lose some weight, what are you going to do with that? You're going to hopefully get more active. Go live your life more fully, right? And that is going to use up energy. Every single time I put my sneakers on this month and I'm getting in steps and I'm getting in movement and I'm doing strength training, all of those things are benefiting me. It's using the energy that I'm consuming to go do more stuff.
Right.
Right?
There's one more. It's from Jackie. Jackie put this me out. She said, I came across this little nugget today, and there's been many a time that I could have used this to help me stay the course. Just remember, you are worth it. It says, if you quit now, you'll end up right back where you first began. And when you first began, you were desperate to be where you are right now. So keep going.
Such a fantastic reminder. We need that all the time, right? You are not maybe where you want to be, but you are not where you used to be. That is an awesome thing. If you want to bask in something this week, think about that.
Yeah. Becky said, check out Costco if you have one nearby. I love their ground beef, $3.99 a pound.
Nice.
I heard a rumor that they were doing a flash sale on chicken wings, so I'm planning on going over to get chicken wings.
Heck yes, because they ain't cheap lately.
Okay, so LaShawn said, you can do an egg and iced coffee. I do it. Add all your stuff to your coffee and then blend it.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Good to know.
Let's see. Becca said, we usually have our food delivered, and I'd rather pick out the meat myself. I may have to bite the bullet and actually go out to Costco. It's funny. So Pastor yesterday was teaching about like going and how to save money and like, if action steps.
Right.
And one of the things he said, I mean, some of the things that he was talking about when it came to finances was amazing. Like the amount of money you can save just taking
your lunch to work.
What was it? It was
over $100,000 just taking your lunch.
If over, like, I think it was like if a married couple over like 15 years just took lunch with them and packed their own lunch, it was like you saved like $100,000. But one of the things he's like, what's a great way to save money? And I never even thought about this, was order your groceries online.
And pick them up.
Not the delivery service, but order them online and then order them at Walmart.com and then go, why? And I didn't think about this. He's like, why? Because you won't binge shop, right?
Yeah,
you won't impulse.
You will not impulse shop because that's it. You already bought it. You're just there to go pick it up. And if you're somebody that's like, hey, if I see it, I won't make the right choice.
We did that. We went to Publix to get literally one ingredient for a recipe.
Yeah.
And we spent $90. And I don't shop in Publix because it's expensive.
And that's not even adding the layer of like Target clearance tags. If I see one of those yellow Target clearance tags and I'm in Target, I'm like, all of a sudden, do I need a new shirt? No, I do not. But it's there and it's cheaper than it should be. And that's when you buy it. So it's like a great way to save money. But also, if you know yourself, if you say to yourself, I just can't get away from these foods, then the way that you avoid contact with them is you buy your stuff and go pick it up at the store. And they put it right into your car. You really feel kind of like fancy, right? Like at least let what we've gone through since 2020 be a blessing in some way, right? Like one of the things that has come out of it is a lot of stores, even Aldi, you can do a customer pickup on your orders.
Okay, so Linda, thank you very much for being a channel member. She said, I know you've mentioned one-to-one before, but I just can't comprehend what it is for some food. So one-to-one is very simple. It is the first one is the amount of protein, grams of protein in a food. So if you look at, I don't have anything here. If you look at, where's that box that was over there? Oh, you moved it.
Oh, sorry.
If you look at any food, or if you look on Chronometer at meat, okay, how many grams of protein is in that food? Not the weight of the food. How many grams of protein is in a serving? That's the first one. The second one is the energy side. Our body does not utilize protein for energy unless it absolutely has to. And what I mean by absolutely has to is you've got no ketones, you haven't had any alcohol, you've got zero carbohydrates, you haven't eaten any body fat, and you haven't eaten any dietary fat, and you have no body fat on your body for your body to use. So
then it'll eat protein.
What's the chance your body's going to use protein for energy?
I don't think
very,
it's
very, very
ever
tiny.
going to get to my protein.
So the second half of that is the energy. Energy consists of carbohydrates and fat combined. So for example, if you look at a food product and let's say it says this has 10 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat, and 1 carbohydrate. That is 1-to-1.
Now total
10
carbohydrates.
and 10. Yes, we don't do net carbs. So 10 grams of protein and then 10 grams of energy because you have 9 grams of fat and 1 gram of protein. You want to stay as close to that as possible. The bigger thing is overall, you don't want your fat and your energy to be significantly higher if you are trying to lose weight.
Right.
As you try to maintain, it's more okay to up your fat a little bit because again, you're trying to give yourself more energy. You want to eat a good amount of protein, but somebody like Robert Sykes, he eats closer to like 1 gram of protein to 1.5 grams of fat. He eats about 80% of his calories from fat. But if you looked at the guy, he doesn't have a whole lot of fat on his body, even, you know.
He's using.
And he's utilizing a lot of energy. So he has to give himself more energy. So you can't just eat a ton of protein because you won't get energy from it. We have a whole series on it. And also, we talk about it a little bit on our website, and also, you can also go check out, there's a lot of books and stuff. And Dr. Ted Naiman is the person who really talks about what 1-to-1 is. Also, again, don't look at the weight of the food. That's got nothing to do with it. It's the same thing when it comes to cooked versus non-cooked. Protein doesn't go down when you cook it. The weight will go down. So if you take a pound of uncooked ground beef and then you cook it, it no longer weighs a pound, okay? Because you've lost water and possibly fat in the cooking process going down the drain and stuff. The protein will stay the same if you took, for example, 8 ounces of protein. If you took like a pound of protein, a pound of cooked ground beef, or a pound of uncooked ground beef, and then say 3/4 of a pound of cooked ground beef, it will have the same amount of protein. So you don't have to worry about that. Whether you eat that or not, you're going to get the same protein, but you have to worry about the fat side of it. Okay, hopefully I didn't screw that up too much. Dorothy said, I had to buy unsalted butter so I don't do flybys on the butter.
That's good to know.
Love the salty taste, but I think I sliced off too much butter.
That is great. That is a great thing to keep at your forefront. Because again, thanks for those kinds of tips, because I'm sure that that's going to speak into somebody else's life as well. We had to stop making the protein bread all the time, not because there was anything wrong with the bread. The problem was that every single time we ate a slice of that bread that was lean and mean, we were adding butter to taste, because that fat tastes delicious.
We were each eating over a half a stick of butter a day with that bread.
Yes.
That's why we stopped eating that bread.
So,
nothing wrong with Maria Emmerich's bread.
So knowing that you find salted butter more appetizing than unsalted butter, that's a really great trick to stay
Nancy
doing
said,
the right thing.
Very hard for me to eat enough fat. My brain just doesn't want to acknowledge that word. Yeah, it's hard, and it's just something we have to get better. The best way to do it is something like beef, butter, bacon, egg. Eat as much as you want and ignore the scale, ignore chronometer. You don't have to do any of that.
You need to experience the win. You need to experience the truth. Because I could tell you what happened all day long, but there's this natural thing that we want to say, yeah, but that won't work for me. So you have to actually experience it in order for you to be like, okay, yeah, all right.
Monster said, I consider Too Good as being a milk pudding. I'm not even convinced it's been fermented. Joe was right. Yogurt is stupid easy to make. I don't know if it's been fermented, but I have tried to use it as a culture and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any live bacteria in there.
Yeah, it's pretty chalky.
One of the biggest reasons to eat yogurt is for the fermented aspect.
Right.
That's what's really good for you. Denise said, would adding avocado to eggs and bacon help us with the fat or what? Absolutely.
Yeah, avocado.
So eggs are 1-to-1 and pretty much bacon is 1-to-1. So if you need a little bit more fat, avocado is good. Avocado is super, super healthy for you. Just understand there are carbs in it. So I would not eat like 2 avocados a day. You know, it's easy to, for me, I won't overdo an avocado. Rachel could.
I love me some avocado. And you know what else I like? I like it that you can buy it either in like frozen chunks or you can buy it where it's just smashed avocado, not even guacamole, which I love. But you can get it where it's just in like single serving cups because sometimes like avocados let me down because I never know when it's like perfectly ready to use.
We just threw one out yesterday.
We were hanging out with Chris and Miriam and it was like we had different plans for like a meal. And she was like, everybody stop what they're doing. The avocado is ready and we must consume it right now because later on today, we don't know where it's gonna be.
Yeah. Angie said, my Instapot doesn't have a yogurt setting. It has a proof setting. It does that does the same thing. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they've always changed the terms and stuff. The thing is you want to culture yogurt at 110 degrees. Juju said, I used to have an Instapot recipe for those without the yogurt setting. Little more involved, but it is doable. I'll have to look for it. We actually say it on our recipe card on how to do it. It is more involved because, again, you have to keep those cultures at 110 degrees. If you keep it hot in your house, like maybe 90.
It's getting hot in here.
You could just put it on the counter, but you'd have to let it go a lot longer. But you don't want to go over like 110 degrees because then you could kill the cultures.
Don't kill the cultures.
Dorothy said, I'll have to check out making my own yogurt. Anyone have an ice cream recipe using yogurt? Got one coming.
Coming up.
Have the creamy for about a week now and have been doing Keto Chow ice cream daily since receiving it.
It's delicious, right? It's super easy because you're just pouring it into the container and then the creamy does the rest.
Any more before we get off? Well-fed human said, my perception of what Dr. Berry says is it's your amount of metabolic damage should dictate how many carbs you should allow yourself in your goal is metabolic healing. Let food be thy medicine.
Boom.
That's
right. Exactly right. Because here's the thing. Dr. Berry may have done less damage to his body than I've done.
Right.
So I've really tried to wreck myself.
And Dr. Berry has gone on record and he's like, you know what my problem is? Cheese, cream. He's like, not that there's anything wrong with it, but he does a lot of it,
and
right?
It's
like
cheese.
Me. It's like Dr. Sivas said. Nothing inherently wrong with eating dairy unless you really do have some bad problems with it. But the biggest issue with dairy is it's easy to overconsume. That's why it's not on BBB&E. It's easy to binge. It's easy to eat a pound of cheese. Yeah. No problem. It's easy to eat a pound of cheese. I can eat a pound of cheese a lot faster than I can eat a pound of ground beef.
Well, I had to even,
And heavy whipping cream?
It's like coffee. Like I had to learn to try to drink my coffee black if I wanted multiple cups throughout the day because it wasn't that, the coffee was doing anything. It was that if I had in my mind that I can only drink sweetened, lightened coffee, well, when I was drinking 2 pots a day of it, that's a lot of sweetener and some sort of creamer. That's just a lot. So I needed to cut back. And if I truly love me some coffee, then I won't mind drinking it black.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Dr. Berry's talked about it. We've talked about that. Everybody is different. Many people, especially, we talked about it on the live stream the other day. When you first get started on keto, you can probably get into ketosis eating 50 carbs.
Yeah, because look at the difference between where
you're going from probably 200 or 300 carbs to 50 carbs. Your body's going to notice a huge change. The more you experience your journey, the longer you get, you may have to cut back. Some people have to cut back even more. Some people can do very well on 20 total carbs. Some people have to drop it down to 5 or 10. Really, there's no such thing as anybody eating 0 carbs, okay?
Yeah.
So if somebody says to you, I'm eating 0 carbs, it's really not true because there are carbs even in meat, okay?
Yeah.
It's a tiny amount. There's carbs in butter. It's just a tiny, tiny amount. There's carbs in liver. Okay, there's carbs in scallops. Everything's got carbs. So there's carbs in eggs. There's almost 1 carb in every egg. So we're not really eating, you're just keeping it super, super, super low.
Yeah.
You know? So some people, and it frustrates me. I'm like, well, how come I can only get away with eating 15 to 20 carbs and then I see other people eating 60 or 70? They're not as metabolically damaged as I am.
Yeah.
You know? So. Any more before we get off?
Well, we better go because the Keto Chow live stream's going to start.
Melissa said, my husband mocked me for doing pickup until I showed him how much money we saved.
Yeah.
He's a finance guy and he was shocked.
Let technology, we've been talking about it. We've got Atomic Habits is going to be this Wednesday at 5 o'clock Eastern. Once again, excited to get back, and we're going to, hopefully wrap up that book, not this week, but next week. We're giving it as much time as it needs to have. But that was the thing that you need to, I just lost my total train of thought.
That's because you're looking up at the comments. Don't look up there.
I know. Oh my goodness. Wait, what was the last thing you just said?
I don't know. It's gone now.
Dang it.
I can't scroll for it.
Dang it. That makes me aggravated.
Okay. Well.
Ugh. All right, I'll remember later as soon as we get off of here.
Okay, we are going to get off. So like I said, Angie said I had to go 10 total carbs when I was healing from chemo treatments. Now I'm at 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So everybody's different.
It changes.
Like I said, I'm going to go edit our suntan lotion video. That'll come out later today. Our channel members, probably within an hour, our channel members and our Patreon members are going to get the chicken nugget recipe. It'll release for everybody else tomorrow or later on in the week. We do appreciate everybody for supporting us. And again, if you do want to support us, if you want to help us make this a full-time job for ourselves, which starts next week, please consider becoming a channel member or a Patreon. But use our links, and most importantly, share our videos and hit the like button.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody have a great day.
We love you.
Bye.